Welcome back to the Meeple Marathon and my REboxing video of Batman the Animated Series. A little caveat here is that my REboxing is utilizing the core box here as well as the stretch goal box. I do know that this product, I'm pretty sure, will be available in retail, and it's just going to be this box. I don't know if there's going to be some stuff added in here that, you know, is like Kickstarter bonuses that were added into the core box. But without the stretch goal box, this storage solution does not really work. So this video is designed for those of you out there who have both and can divide some stuff up, because the stretch goal box doesn't really have much. It's got a lot of cards and miniatures in it and some map tiles, but then that's about it. It doesn't have nearly the amount of tokens that came in the base box. So as I'm going through here, I'll discuss some items that you could possibly pick up to mitigate this problem. Go ahead and grab something here. All right, so have those ready to show off a little bit later. Okay, but right off the bat here, no pun intended there. All right, so here to start off with, you see 3 Plano 3400 series tackle boxes. These were chosen specifically because of their depth. So they're only like an inch, not even an inch and a quarter. I think it says 1.13 inches high. The problem with this whole setup is that the miniature tray is designed with these tabs to hold in the map tiles, which is nice, but then the way everything sits, when you had the full stack of map tiles that came with the core box, there's literally no room. There was less than an inch between where the box wanted to come down and where the map tiles are going to hit. So you could implement this storage solution. This is option A if you just have the core box. If you're okay with a little lid lift, you could do this. Now if you have the full set, you'll notice there's actually only 2 map tiles right here, enabling there to be space for these to sit flush with the lid. If you were okay with a little lid lift, then you could go ahead and implement this Plano 3400 series storage solution and put a little band around your box or something like that. Some people, they're fine with that. What the Plano 3400 series does for you is allows you to easily pull these out, flip the top open, and just leave them sitting off to the side. I have all my status tokens right here, and objective tokens, things like that. In this one, I have all of my focus tokens, 2 rows of health, and then I divided up the whatever action specific tokens into kind of the attack ones and the movement and defense ones. And then last but not least, I have some terrain. I definitely wanted to get this terrain in there because the circular terrain is the one that could be placed down during the game. So like smoke bombs. If Batman drops a smoke bomb, you're going to drop these little circular smoke tokens down. Or if Iceman's in the game and he puts ice onto a space, it's going to be the circle tokens. All the rest of the tokens are going to be placed during setup. So really all these other ones were just square in size and were able to fit in these small trays. And so I went ahead and stuck them there. It just alleviates the kind of hodgepodge mess of the rest of them you're going to see here in a minute. All right, so those you see very neatly sit off to the side. And then I've got just 2 map tiles here. It doesn't matter. They're all exactly the same size, same square size. So just pick 2, throw them in here. The other ones you're going to see are in the stretch goal box. Other than that, this is still underneath there, keeping it nice and flat. I like to leave these types of things in the plastic, keeps them clean. And then the miniature tray, so no surprises there. We're just going to lift out the miniature tray and set it right here. All right. So a few things that have come over from the stretch goal box into this box. You'll notice I have 4 health dials here. The game actually came with 8. The stretch goal box came with 8, but the tray in the stretch goal box is only designed to hold 4 in its slot. So I guess at the end of the day, they're like, we got a little extra money. We're going to throw these guys some extra health dials. And, they gave us more than what was designed for the tray, which is a little obnoxious, but since I've got some room, since I moved all of my tokens up here, I had some room to put these in above the dice. I haven't really decided yet whether I'm going to let the dice roam free in this tray or whether I'm going to keep them bagged. Keeping them bagged obviously means I need to take them in and out of the bag every time, but I also really don't like the idea of the dice just rattling around in the box every time I move it. So what we have right here is the normal slot. This is normally where these episode guides are supposed to go. They're a nice size, and normally there's just supposed to be 3 in there, but you can see I went ahead and added the stretch goal one. Technically that means that it sits higher than the lip here that's designed for it, but there is space from the miniature box. You know, the miniatures underneath sit up a little higher than the edge, so there is room for it. It's not bumping anything out of alignment. Then down here I basically have a hodgepodge mess of the larger terrain tiles. There really is no good way to put these in there except for like that. I guess you could baggy them all up individually, but that just seems like it would get obnoxious when you're actually trying to set up the game. Plus, with the rule books and episode guides sitting flat on these and, you know, being compressed down by everything else, I don't think they're really going to go anywhere. Even if you wanted to tip this game up on its side, I wouldn't recommend it with this tray, but they probably are going to stay put. Other than that, everything else here is where you would expect it to be. There's a cutout here for these size cards, which then hold in this deck of cards, and then the larger deck of cards over here. All of this is pretty straightforward. So again, let's kind of put it all back in. We've added 4 health dials from the stretch goal box. We've added the episode guide from the stretch goal box, and you can see it's when it's compressed, it really is not going to move around much. I don't think you should worry about that getting damaged. Then you're going to put the miniature tray back over top. Just two map tiles over top of that, and then your Plano boxes, just like this in any particular order. And there you go. So that is the base box. Again, there is a few things, mainly map tiles, pulled out of the base box here, and a few things swapped with the stretch goal box that makes this storage solution work. Now, something that you could do that I considered earlier on, and I meant to just show you this, but these here I got at the dollar store, and they come in a 4-pack. And these were able to fit in that well where you saw all of my terrain tiles. And what I had considered early on is putting all of the status tokens and the focus tokens and things like that in these, dividing them up evenly into 4 of these things, and then the largest map tiles sit in that well, but then these took up the rest of the space. Well, what this did was raise up that area so that you could not put the instruction manuals on top. They would have not laid flat, they would have gotten bent up, but there was enough room that the miniatures did not push on top of these, so the miniature tray wasn't going to get damaged. What that meant was that I had to put the episode guides up on top of the map tiles, which was fine because there was, you know, less than an inch of gap at the top, so that filled the gap. And I went ahead and put the dice. The dice were the perfect height where 3 episode guides essentially and the dice could sit up top, not make any lid lift, and then I had just the map tiles in that tray where I had the dice. So that is a solution you could utilize. Again, pick something up like this at either Michael's or the dollar store. These little almost look like condiment containers, and that would work as well if all you had was the core box. So let's put these off to the side and let's just take a quick look. This should all be pretty straightforward because we know what's hiding in here. But here is the stretch goal box. Alright, right on top I have the sheet that I'm going to try and hold on to because it's very handy. And then you can see this is an oversized stack of map tiles here. This is way more than come in the stretch goal box. But since I removed 2, had room to remove 2, looks like there's a little bit of box stretching going on there, but it shouldn't be from any of this stuff. Anyways, I removed 2 so that this stays flat and there was enough room to add 2 to the other tray. So let's pull these off here, set those off to the side. Again, this tray lid here is protecting your miniatures. Pull the miniature tray off, and then everything in here is basically where you would expect it to be. I did go ahead, I believe the yellow tokens were in the base game box and the black ones came in the stretch goal box. I honestly don't think I'm going to be using these. I hope to paint up the miniatures so you can easily tell them apart. That's the only reason you would use these, is to highlight your heroes on the map when they're all gray. These are the status tokens that come just with the stretch goal box villains. So Electra, or whatever her name is, and then Condiment King. Condiment King has a ton, which just seems weird to me. But those are the only things. So for right now, I've just dumped them in there. I may choose down the road to pull them out and add them to my storage solution, but I like that this is where the Condiment King lives, so that's where his status tokens are. Again, dice in the same spot as they are over there, still baggied. The dual layer player boards in their space, and then the cards and these. You can see this is the well that they created to hold the health tokens. Obviously there's these round cutouts, they fit in there perfectly, and 4 of them is the perfect height to still allow all of these cards to lay in their space flat. But if you had 8, where are you going to put the other 4? So again, for a while I just had them kind of laying on top right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't really like that setup, but it does work if you want to go that route and keep everything in its original box. You could just build the other, or you could just not build the other 4 and keep them off to the side and just say, okay, I'll only build these if something the other ones gets damaged, and basically only use the health trackers for the heroes, which is what they were meant for. With 8, you can technically use them for the boss villains, and then just use the health tokens for the minions. But anyways, that is going to do it for my storage solution for Batman the Animated Series by IDW. Again, this one utilizes both the stretch goal box and the base box. If you happen to have an all-in pledge, then maybe you can spread out the map tiles even into the Arkham Asylum box, and make this work even more. So for me, I figured I'm always going to use these boards here, and so if nothing else, and these fit well right there, so if nothing else, I'm always going to take the stretch goal box with me, most likely. So I was fine with spreading everything out. So all right, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and if you'd like to see more content like this in the future, please consider subscribing to the channel. Once again, thanks for watching. Have a great day.